All right, boys.
Sure.
This is Aaron. He's actually one of my first original mentees. And yeah, he's actually in Mexico right now. He's just enjoying his life down there with his girlfriend, paying for everything, being the man. And then yeah, he was actually just working, like he was literally at a 9 to 5 a few months ago, fully quit everything just because of the agency started to take off. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We hit yeah, 0 to 15K a month in 87 days to be exact. And then he quit his 9 to 5 and he was making 100K per year in that. I think it was like a few weeks later or a month after. So, but yeah, Aaron, if you want to introduce yourself, we could get right in.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Aaron from Vancouver, Canada originally, and then yeah, currently living in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Nice, sweet. So yeah, we got started, and how was like what was like your just overall thoughts of the mentorship, and also actually let's skip to that. Let's skip a different question. And what is your opinion on mentors versus courses, like specifically my mentorship compared to other courses you've joined? Because I know that you've joined other ones in the past, and it's obviously a bit of a different kind of story.
Yeah, so I think the challenge I went through with going through courses versus having a mentor was like courses are definitely good. Like I think it's a great starting place. I think the challenge that a lot of agency owners go through and that I went through myself is, courses have to be kind of like a general level, right? If you think about school, for example, not to take this too far off topic, but like if you're in the first grade or second grade or third grade, you can be like the smartest kid in third grade, but they have to make the third grade for the dumbest person, right?
Yeah, it's
So
true.
I kind of think of courses like that in some degree as well, where it's like, the course is kind of the general curriculum, right? But every person's circumstances are unique.
Mm,
So I'd been through kind of a handful of SMMA courses, like GHL courses, like free
yeah,
courses online, paid courses, like thousands of dollars I spent, right? And I was kind of at a point in my agency where I was seeing some traction where I was like, all right, I'm getting like, 1, 2, 3K months, but like, why is it that everybody's hitting like, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K? Like, what did they know that I don't? So I
right,
think at that point, it became a question of like, all right, like, do I now find another course or do I now find another mentor? Right. So the course question was like, all right, do I look at maybe, I don't know, Charlie Morgan, or do I look at scaling with systems, or I look at agency lab? And they're all these high ticket courses, right? But as I was jumping on kind of sales calls with these guys, I was like, it's still too broad. Like
yeah,
they coach and train like hundreds of people where it's like, again, every person's circumstances are different and unique, right? So I was like, it makes a ton more sense for me. It made a lot more sense at that time, and it still does for anybody thinking of doing one-on-one mentorship today. Because it's like you don't want to get into a course, you watch all these videos, and then it's like you join a group call once a week, and there's like 50 other guys in there. You get like barely a chance to ask a question, and it's like, what's the point?
yeah.
And I had been through that myself, so I was like, I just don't want to do that again. I'd rather pay a guy who's a little bit further along than I am, and I can follow his journey exactly.
Right,
And
right.
like that was the biggest thing, because it's like you don't want to have a mentor who's like doing 5, 10, 20 million a month when you're trying to get from 0 to 10K.
Yeah.
Because it's like that guy's so far along, it's not really relatable, right?
Mm,
But if you can find that person who's like they're still ahead of you, but like maybe like they've been through your journey pretty recently, it's like, oh, that guy knows exactly what I've gone through. So that's kind of how I found you, right?
yeah, I guess so.
Not to take it too far off topic, but that was kind of
Yeah.
the long
No, that
answer.
was yeah, actually very good explanation. Yeah, and because I think yeah, you found me from YouTube, and then we ended up being from the same city. It was pretty funny, um, but yeah, how was
Well, just a side note there. Sorry, before you get into the last
yeah
one. The reason I think I found you too, because I was like, yo, you're literally from Vancouver. You literally went to a high school that was like not too far from mine. I was like, yo, if this
yeah
guy can do it, like I think I saw your video where you're like 0 to 30K, and I was like, oh, dude, like I started to follow you at that point,
right
and then you opened up mentorship, and I was like, oh, like let me just DM you, see what's kind of going on, right?
yeah
So it was kind of our like similar backgrounds that kind of attracted me to you.
yeah for sure. Yeah, and then I guess we also met up in Vancouver as well. We went we got like oysters. Remember those? That was pretty good as well.
Yeah, I think I got a photo of that somewhere too.
Yeah, that was. I'll probably pop it up on the screen, but yeah, that was
Yeah,
sick. But I guess we're kind of getting a bit off bit off topic here. But how is
yeah.
so you're currently in Mexico. How was that? Because for some context, guys, like Aaron literally like quit his 100K per year 9 to 5, and then like after he started making all this money from his agency after I mentored him, and then he went straight to Mexico with his girlfriend. So how was it like just living in Mexico compared to the whole like 9 to 5 life, I guess?
It's just like it's crazy. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. First the lifestyle is crazy, right? But like I think the even crazier thing though is like how fast your life and your circumstances can change.
Mm.
So as a reference, like I worked that job in software sales from 2020 to basically 2024, almost 4 years, right? 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And then in the span of like us starting to work together again in 90 days, like I hit 10K, like in another like week and a bit later, close another like almost 5K. So 15K just about. But I remember November 14th was the day I hit 10K. November 24th, literally 10 days later, I handed in my resignation to quit my job where I was like, all right, yo, I'm out of here. And then another month later, so like timeline is like November 14th, we hit 10K. Like another 10 days later, we yeah, handed in my resignation to quit my job. And 1 month later, mid-December, we booked our flights to Mexico. And then
Yeah.
January 9th, we flew to Mexico with like all of our stuff full time, right? So like your life can change so fast.
Yeah.
If you have the right like circle, the right coaches and mentors, right? The right people around you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Because I remember I just woke up one morning and he texted me like a screenshot of your Stripe account and like yo, we fucking hit 10K. Like, oh my god. And it was just out of nowhere. It seemed like so fast because it was very, very exponential as well. Because like the first um at least it was super like exponential in like short period of time where you just went from like that and then 10K. So
Mhm.
it's definitely pretty crazy. And and yeah, wow. But where you think of going next? Like any ideas kind of where you want to hit next? I think you're going back to Canada soon, you said, but you want to head off somewhere else after, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, anything's possible.
Yeah,
I
gotta come
think
to Dubai, bro. I'm telling you.
yeah, Dubai is cool. I think I'm probably gonna buckle down in Calgary for a bit. Like I got a couple like a lot of small trips planned though, right? Like
Yeah,
I think I'll take another big trip here again soon, but I'm kind of traveled out
yeah, for
for
sure.
now, if that makes sense, right? Like I just kind of want to get back to Canada for a bit. Gonna go to Vancouver, Tofino, probably do a road trip down the West Coast. So like
Oh
Oregon,
yeah,
yeah, Seattle, Oregon, like your Oregon, Cali, go down to maybe like San Diego,
Hmm.
drive back Utah, Arizona, right? Just just stuff you could like. I think the crazy thing is too. I think a lot of times people think too you have to do these extreme trips where it's like, oh, I'm gonna drop all my shit and go to Dubai, and it's like, yeah, you could do that, no doubt, right? But I think what people also need to see too is like you don't. You're your own boss, right? So it's like, oh,
yeah,
if I wanted to go on a 2 or 3 week long road trip, I could do that,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
So there's like, small trips you can do as well. So I think probably some smaller stuff for now. And then in terms of where we're going to be next year, actually later this year in the winter, I don't know. I don't want to spend winter in Canada.
yeah, no,
So we'll see.
yeah,
Maybe Florida. I don't know. Might head down to Tampa or Miami. That's side.
yeah. No, I heard it. Yeah, I think Florida's a super solid place for winter. I mean, also Dubai is is pretty solid as well. So yeah, but yeah, I know Miami and Florida is definitely
Just the
solid.
time zone that gets me too, man. Time zone's like
Yeah,
just so
yeah,
far off.
true. It's true actually. I'm usually working pretty late here, so yeah. Damn, but yeah, I mean, what are like your besides like the other stuff, like what would your thoughts be? So let's just say that you didn't join the mentorship and you joined a course right now, you would potentially still be working in your 9 to 5, or what are your thoughts on that? Like let's just say that you didn't join the mentorship and you joined something else, like a course, like one of the classics. Where do you think you would be right now?
Ooh, I don't even want to think about that. I'd probably still be commuting an hour and a half every day to work in the snow, man.
Yeah, fuck.
Um, but if I joined a course, I think the main reason too I didn't want to join a course, like, and this is something that people should think about too, right? Think about who you're getting mentored by. And for example, for you, right? Like if I paid whatever 10 grand to Charlie Morgan for his course, uh, I have to like the time, the money investment's one thing, but the thing that I think a lot of people don't look at is the time investment. All
Right,
right, so now that the
right.
money's here, well, now I have like hundreds of hours of content to consume. And it's like for me at my point where I was at in my job and in my life, I was like, I work at least 50 hours a week in my day job, software sales. I have a limit, I have, you know, girlfriend, family, like other things to balance, right? And I was like, where am I gonna find the time to squeeze in like 3, 4 hours of content every day?
Yeah.
So if I had joined a course, you know, that next period of time I would have just been like on my computer all day. Just would have been a zombie basically, right? So my
Mhm.
logic at that point was like, why would I do that when I can just pay somebody who's absorbed all that knowledge, right? They already know what to do. They've absorbed all the knowledge and they've applied it in their own business to scale to a certain level. And they can just extract all that knowledge and give me like, hey, here's the simple plan of what you do. I know because I did it. And I was like, at that point, it's a no-brainer,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very true. And I'm just trying to think of what to ask you next, actually. But what do like? I mean, do you have like, do you have anything else to say? Kind of like about overall thoughts of the mentorship, or kind of anything with that?
Yeah, I mean, to keep it like, you know, obviously you helped me scale, right? Like without you, like I would not have scaled,
Yeah,
right? Like period.
yeah,
Uh, I think the biggest thing you taught me though, too, aside from just the general, like, hey, here's the general actionable stuff, or like run this ad, this is your offer, price it at this point, here's your guarantee, all that stuff, right? Besides all that stuff, I think the other biggest thing that you taught me was the mindset side of things.
yeah,
You know, like I think a lot of people who've kind of cracked 10K will kind of realize like it's just a figurative kind of number in your mind. It's like that magical number where it's like, all right, like once you kind of hit this number, like everything's going to change, right? And to actually a large degree, like your life changes pretty substantially once you hit 10K. I think that's like the biggest change,
yeah,
right? When you go from like, I don't know, I can't say from experience, but I imagine when you go from 50 to 70 or 50 to 80, I'm sure the change is
yeah.
there, but like the
No,
biggest
not
change
really.
is that 0 to 10.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I
Yeah.
realize that the difference in lifestyle between 30K and 100K a month is non-existent. Like, there's just no difference at all. Obviously, it's like a bit of a life change, but there's no like lifestyle difference. Like, you might go on a private jet or two when you're at 100K a month, but um, yeah, that's kind of the only difference. But yeah, definitely going from like 0 to 10K, especially in such a short period of time. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty it is pretty crazy. And you know, if you went 0 to 15K in 90 days, and it's I guess it just completely changed your life. Because 3 months ago, prior to that, you were just pretty lost. You know, didn't really know what you're gonna do, and then now you're just kind of flying wherever you want in the world and traveling the world with your girlfriend. Like, it seems like making a bunch of money. It seems like a pretty crazy transformation. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think, sorry, one thing I kind of lost my train of thought there and what the question was.
Okay.
But but it was the mindset portion of it, right? You kind of taught me like, hey, like what kind of mindset do you need to have to see success?
Mhm.
And it's like once you kind of hit that mark, it's like you've heard of the 4 minute mile, right? The 4 minute mile thing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
where it's like it was kind of that magic number, and then once somebody broke it, a bunch of other people started to break that 4 minute mile mark too. It's like internally, once you kind of hit 10K and you break through past 10K, it's like, oh, I'm
yeah,
a 10K guy now, right? Like I just make $10,000 a month. That's just who I am. That's what I do, right? So the
yeah,
months that kind of follow, it's just like that number is kind of like that's the new bar, right? Like at first
yeah,
you're at 0 to 10K.
yeah,
Once you hit 10K, it's like, all right, 10K is the bar. I'm a six-figure earner now. I run a six-figure agency, whatever. And now the bar is like it moves, right? But you kind of taught me the mindset that was that kind of accompanies that journey, right? And then the mindset's really important, right? I think you talk to a lot of people who are at this level as well. As like they'll tell you the same thing. Mindset's huge.
yeah, yeah, 100%. It's massive. Yeah, that's what I've realized as well, to scale in past 100K month as well. And but honestly, like going from 0 to 10K is very mindset based. So for anyone's watching this, that's something I definitely like to prioritize. And yeah, but I think that's pretty much it. Just wrapping up this interview. I mean, do you have any last I guess last remarks or anything like that? Or what would you tell someone who's contemplating joining this, or maybe they just booked to interview with me to apply for the mentorship, and then they're thinking of joining, but what are you like your, or thinking of wanting to get, apply to get accepted, but what are your like kind of thoughts, or like something that you would tell them to or them
Yeah.
wanting to apply?
So it's a good question. I'm going to try and give an unbiased answer because I understand, I was in, if somebody's watching this thinking of joining your mentorship or joining any mentorship for that matter, I take it, they're probably not just looking at you. They might be looking at other courses, consultants, and so forth, right? uh, just joining any one-on-one mentorship, you know, you don't just want to join any one-on-one mentorship, right? You want to kind of look at the person who's living, like how that person lives their life, right? Like,
Yeah.
do you align yourself with the way that person lives their life? Not just on the business side, but on the personal side too, right? Because there are a lot of business, you know, gurus and so forth who, yeah, you're going to make 30, 40, 50K a month, but they're just kind of locked in a cubicle kind of monk mode guys. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, you can do that, right? Not, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But you want to find somebody whose life, like you actually want to live your life. Like,
Yeah.
does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. It's
Where it's
very
like if
true.
this guy's traveling the world, like people want to oftentimes make this money so they have time freedom and location freedom and money freedom, right? So you kind of want to align yourself with somebody whose life you want to emulate, right? So
Yeah.
don't just find a mentor where it's like, hey, I'll make you this much money, but find a mentor who's like, hey, you'll make this much money, but this is the kind of lifestyle that you can live,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. That's that's definitely a huge one. But yeah, I think that's pretty much wrapping up. So all right, boys. But yeah, definitely just like I mean, like you said, guys will like gurus will kind of say like, oh yeah, you could hit 30, 40, 50K a month, but you're gonna be, lock yourself in a room all day. Like that's kind of pointless. You're still technically like I wouldn't say you're working a 9 to 5, but it's almost like the same like vibe almost. But because at least for me personally, and pretty much all my mentees, that we all want to just start networking and travel the world and moving out to Dubai or whatever it is. Like there's lots of stuff you could do, and obviously some people want to lock themselves in a room, but at least for majority of people who are trying to apply for the mentorship and my mentees, they definitely have the same mindset when it comes to that. But I think that's pretty much it, guys. Appreciate you guys for watching and just wrapping up here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, take care. Thanks, man.